I mentioned in my Fnaf 3 video that I wanted to do a tier list of all the games at some point, or at least implied it. So here that is. I've spent, honestly, like, barely any time on this video, and it's not very, well edited, but really wanted to make this just because I wanted to give my take and shit on Security Breach. So here it is. This is just every FNAF game, every main series FNAF game. This doesn't include stuff like parody games. This will be including Fnaf World, though. So let's just get straight into it. Alright, so these are our games. We have FNAF 1, FNAF 2, 3, 4, Sister Location, Pizza Sim, UCN, Special Delivery, Security Breach, Help Wanted, which I've never played and I will not be ranking because you really can't experience it unless you're in VR playing the game, and Fnaf World. So we're just going to get straight into it with FNAF 1. I'm probably going to just put FNAF 1 at S tier. It's a great game on its own, but for starting the entire series, it has some of the most realistic models of animatronics. It also has something which I don't think any of the other games really nailed, which is, like, it has, like, amazing camera angles. Like, the positions they chose and the positions for the animatronics are so, like, interesting. I personally think, like, FNAF 1 will always be an amazing game. Now, FNAF 2, I like it, but I think it's overrated. Like, not gonna lie. It's probably A tier. The mechanics don't feel satisfying to me. That's what I'm getting at. Like, just putting on a mask, like, it doesn't feel good when you've defended yourself. I think, like, it's definitely good for keeping the story, so that's FNAF 2's placement. I don't think FNAF 3 is as bad as people make it out to be. I definitely think it's not on the good end. I'd probably have to put it between B and C. I'm gonna go with C, so people aren't quite as mad at me. I think generally the game mechanics in FNAF 3 are not quite as, like, satisfying as they are in FNAF 1 or even FNAF 2. Really any other game, honestly. I think FNAF 3 is also the first game to really use audio in a unique way. So I think C, it's close to B, but I'm putting it in C for now. FNAF 4. I think FNAF 4 is underrated, honestly. Same thing with, like, FNAF 3. I think FNAF 4 is a better game than FNAF 3, obviously. But, like, I feel like it gets a lot of hate for going too extreme with the models. I think it did, but I think it paid off. I think the models are fucking terrifying. And as I said, it's the FNAF game I was too scared to play when it came out. Like, it is such a terrifying experience. Like, even just loading into the title screen. So I think it gets an A tier deservingly. It also added a lot to, like, Laura the Crying Child and initially introduced a lot of characters which are extremely relevant. I think Sister Location was worse when it came out. I think both, like, nostalgia, but also, like, knowing what it set up for the story makes it a lot better. It's a lot more of an experience than a game. The game is incredibly easy, but I don't think it's trying to be a hard game. I think it's also really funny. Like, some of the jokes are actually pretty good. I'm gonna put it in A, honestly. I don't really know where to put Pizza Sim. I haven't played all the way through it, really? I don't think I have, at least. It's definitely, like, the ending alone moves it up, like, a tier and a half, but, like, it feels weird putting it above FNAF 2. I'm gonna put it just behind FNAF 2, between FNAF 4. It's a perfect ending for so many characters. Michael, Elizabeth, William Afton, Henry, Charlotte? No, not Charlotte. Yes, Charlotte. And also, but that's such a perfect ending for so many characters. You know, I'm putting it in A behind FNAF. Or, it's not letting me put it... Okay, there we go. I'm putting it in A just ahead of FNAF 4. Because I genuinely think it is a pretty well-made game. It's also, once again, actually pretty funny. UCN. Maybe this is controversial. I think UCN is, like, A or S tier. I think it's really good. Not just because it's, like, an interesting, like, relevant bit to the lore, but also just because, like, it is such... You can get so much playtime. I'm sure there's people with thousands of hours on the game. It's also just fun. It has, like, some of the most satisfying mechanics in the end. It adds the thud that, when you block an animatronic successfully, that was in Sister Location Custom Night, which I think is a very, like, good mechanic. It makes it feel a lot more satisfying when you successfully defeat an animatronic. It's also very customizable, whereas, like, these all of the other games, minus Pizza Sim, have custom nights of some sort, and kind of Sister Location, but most of the characters aren't in the canon game. But, like, but UCN, you can select, like, basically any combination of characters, and it'll be fun. Alright. Special Delivery, I didn't play, but from what I've seen, there's not really a lot of content. I'm just gonna put it in B. I don't know. Okay, purely on story, we're ranking Help Wanted at C. This is not me saying Help Wanted is a C tier game. I just think for what it did to the story, it's a C. Alright, Security Breach. C. May I say more? Yeah, I may. I like Security Breach. It went back, undid William Afton's character fucking again, and then brought him back again. It's also extremely not scary. But, like, it's extremely buggy. I would be able to embrace it being buggy if it was, like, not taking itself as serious as it does. But, like, it's trying to be a good game, and it's not, which makes it an even worse game. It doesn't have a sense of humor about itself, is what I'm saying. It also, like, I don't know, it's not scary. It is the least scary FNAF game. It's not a good vibe. Also, the graphics aren't that great. I feel like a lot of people are saying, like, well, this game is bad in, like, every way, but it's gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful. The graphics don't look that great, in my opinion. Like, all of the animatronics look super out of place. And Fnaf World, this is one that I might get flack for. I think it's a B. I honestly think it's better than these games. I will say, in its release, fuck no. It was like $20 or some shit, and hold on, I need to Google this. Just moved my capture a little bit, so I'm trying to make sure it's relatively close to what it was. I might have just changed it a little. So, Fnaf World, I just looked it up, it was $10 on release. Which means it was more expensive than every other Five Nights at Freddy's game. On release, Fnaf World is F. But I think it's been updated, and it has some interesting contributions to the story. Also, like, it's fun. I like the characters. I like the gameplay. And it also introduced, like, several new characters that got, roles in Sister Location and, UCN. But it's a fun game. It's an enjoyable game. It has a decent amount of content, and it has some decent replayability. I also just want to say right at the end of this doesn't mean that, like, FNAF is an S tier game. UCN is like these are all, like, FNAF 3 on its own is like a B tier game, and FNAF is like A tier, and FNAF 1 is like A tier. Like, these are within the context of it being a Freddy's game. It's not, like, I think probably if we were just testing, if we were just, like, going by a general game, Security Breach would be higher because it's more scary than a game in general if that was its goal. It's also not really expected to be scary. Well, that's the chart. That's every FNAF game ranked. So now I'm gonna jump into a different one. We're going to do FNAF games ranked by horror. I personally think FNAF 4 is decently scary. It also has a good, like, atmosphere. It's not at all like a scare your fucking socks off game, but it's good. It's got some good scares. The jump scares are usually decently tense, so I think it earns an A in terms of horror. All right, FNAF 2. I don't know about. I don't know where to put this one. Honestly, I think it's either, like, A or AS, because like, I feel like FNAF 2 expands on what FNAF 1 did that made it so scary, which is that it built chaos, and then you weren't sure whether you were gonna live or die until eventually you do. And then when you do die, it's fucking terrifying because you, like, simultaneously expecting and not expecting it. It's so built up, yet so frightening when it actually happens. So I personally think FNAF 3 is like a C or a B. I'm gonna go with C. There are a couple good jump scares. I think Phantom Freddy has a decent jump scare, and Phantom Foxy also has a decent one, in my opinion. But the thing is, with all these jump scares, they have at least a decent bit of build-up, minus maybe Phantom Foxy. Like, decent bit of build-up, but you're warned. It's not build-up, you're just warned that you're going to get jump scared. At that point, it's not even really a jump scare, it's kind of just a loud noise and a big thing. It's just like a loud noise and a thing in your face. You know that thing's gonna be in your face. FNAF 4, S tier. May I explain further? No, I may not. FNAF World, I mean, it's F, but I don't think that makes it worse. I don't think FNAF World was at all trying to be scary. I think it was trying the opposite. Sister Location. Sister Location has a good couple scares that are decent. Like, I know Scott Cawthon said it was one of the only games, like, actually got him good while he was developing it. But, like, I don't know. It's not... the thing is, it's not scary on replays. The other games are a little scary. Obviously, you get used to them. But, like, obviously you get used to them on replays, but you can still get some... You can still get some good frights out of them. Whereas with Sister Location, because it's not really that... Like, you know exactly what to do all of the time on replays. Whereas you only mostly know what to do in the other games. And you can still, it's still a lot easier to slip up on replays. I'll put it at B. It's definitely good in terms of a first playthrough. In some cases. FNAF 6. I don't know where to put FNAF 6 for this. Because if we're just ranking the office portion, it's probably A, honestly. It's pretty scary, it's got a decent atmosphere, it's relatively chaotic, similar to FNAF 2. Not to mention, there's also, like, some more, less scary jump scares, but that can still catch you off guard, like the ads. FNAF 6 definitely has some good scary bits. But if we had to rank the rest of the game... Oh, I just moved my thing again. If we had to rank the rest of the game, I don't know. Probably, honestly, probably an AS, actually, for the fucking... Like, it's an F for the Tycoon portion, but, like, the Office, the salvage section, is really good. It also plays on your fear you developed of animatronics from playing 5 other games. So I'm gonna just average this out to an A. UCN, C. I've gotten caught off guard a few times, but especially when you're, like, 15 minutes... like, after the first jump scare in each session, it's not at all scary. Unless it's, like, totally catches you off guard. So Security Breach. I'm gonna be honest. Security Breach is an F. Not gonna lie. Like, it's just not scary. It's not a scary game. I'll say it's closer to C than Fnaf World, obviously. Because at least it has jump scares. But, like, it's not scary. Fuck, I just moved it again. It's like a fucking shaky cam found footage horror movie. I'll link the template in my description. You can tweet your own tier lists at me. I would love to see them. I don't know. Maybe I'll look at your own. Maybe I'll look at your FNAF hot takes. That's a good title. That's the end of the video. Bye!